Royal Enfield's just released yet another stunner to keep its sibling, the KX838 concept company. And as a global force in the middleweight retro motorcycle segment, this new Shotgun 650 bobber's sure to stir up a storm, and mark yet another chapter in the firm's 120-year-old journey producing no-nonsense retro bikes. So hang fire for a few minutes while we take a look at 5 real reasons this bike should worry the competition, and whether it actually marks a new direction for Royal Enfield. So for those of you that know about Mark Wells, the chief designer at Royal Enfield, well, let's just say he likes to think big. And that's exactly what he did when he challenged his design team to come up with a bobber that could live up to the expectations of the 21st century while keeping its looks and roots firmly planted in the past. So although some of the new Shotgun takes inspiration from Enfield's classic design sensibilities, we love the fact that much of the bike has been custom fabricated for just this purpose, including a handful of components that are definitely much more high-end than they would appear. Take for instance the Shotgun's custom-looking teardrop gas tank that was CNC machined from a single block of billet aluminium, as were its futuristic disc-like wheels, not to mention its inverted forks and stunning aluminium headlight cowl that adopts an apparent nod to the future and a possible new direction for the firm. The bike also features low-set wide handlebars and a very apt single-piece floating bobber-style seat, as well as a set of centre foot pegs that appear to be similar to the ones found on the classic 350. Taking a closer look at the Shotgun, its clear aspects of this bike are intentionally futuristic, from its stunning 3D paint scheme and bright coloured gauges to that impressive machining around the bike's front end and headlight cowl, that all scream quality and will also definitely make this bike stand out from the crowd. The front fenders also finished in brushed aluminium, which to be honest with you look pretty cool in contrast to the bike's all matte black exhausts, and definitely help complement the overall look of the SG, while a pair of underset drop bar end mirrors add to that unmistakable bobber style. Now although we don't have the official specs on the bike yet, it appears to be longer and lower to the ground than its siblings, making for a more accessible seat height, although it would have been nice to see the foot pegs set a little further forward to give a more bobber-like riding position, but I guess that will be fairly easy to sort out when the bike goes into production. So although the SG is still a concept bike at this stage, it's unclear just what will make it to the final cut. However, it is still worth taking a look at just what we could be getting on the production model when it hits the showroom floors. So starting with those fabulous one-piece billet-cut 18-inch wheels that lends the bike a very distinctive but also very different look from the spoke trims you would normally find in an Enfield. We think when married to those 120 by 80 by 18 and 160 by 70 by 18 Metzeler tyres, the Shotgun definitely captures that bobber style to a T. So one of the other things you need to know about this bike is, in a first for Enfield, up front you get not the usual one, but a pair of twin pot signature RE calipers over what looks to be 330mm rotors, with a single pot to the rear that should result in a significant upgrade in the bike's stopping department. Suspension's taken care of by a welcome pair of USD front forks that should definitely add extra stability compared to the traditional forks you would find on the likes of the Interceptor or Continental, while a pair of twin shocks mounted on a looped frame that, along with that low profile rear tyre, that help to keep a low slung look and feel to the back end of the bike. So to be honest with you, I'd love to be able to say this bike had a significant upgrade in the engine department. However, as many of you out there will appreciate, sometimes it's just better to go with what you know works, and will keep you on the go from the start of the day to the end of the night. And to be honest with you, I think that's why Enfield elected to give the Shotgun the same ultra-reliable engine you get in the aforementioned 650 Interceptor, that's married to a 6-speed gearbox and features a slip and assist clutch. Now I do appreciate that to some of you it'll be a disappointment it won't be getting a larger engine like in the KX838 concept. But let's not forget that this unit can still produce a peak power output of 47 brake horsepower at 7,250 RPM, and also around 52 Newton meters or 38.3 foot-pounds of torque at 5,250 RPM, making this bike easily still a ton-up machine. although in its current state, with all that extra aluminium and with those very cool looking solid wheels, we expect it will weigh considerably more than its siblings. So in the electronics department, things are still kept to a minimum as you would expect on an Enfield, apart from a few new touches that we'll come to in a moment, that I'm sure some of you will find a blessing and some of you will think are totally unnecessary. But first of all, the bike gets a full complement of LED DLR lighting, including that beautifully integrated headlamp, a retro-themed tail light and sleek indicators. The SG also gets a dual-channel ABS system that again some of you may dislike, but of course is needed to comply with Euro 5 regulations. Other modern features include that inset semi-digital instrument cluster that includes a tripper navigation system for turn-by-turn directions, a Bluetooth system to keep you connected, and a handy USB charger. However, the bike in its current state has no rider modes and of course forgoes any type of traction control system. So as anyone that's owned a Royal Enfield knows, if adequately maintained and serviced, they can easily last in excess of 90,000 miles, with no major problems owing to their exceptional build quality, and partly to do with having no complicated systems that have an uncanny habit of playing up when you least need them to. So as we've seen on many concept bikes in the past, it's very easy to imagine which pieces would be trimmed for a production model. And let's face it, machining billet aluminium's very expensive. However, it would definitely be very interesting to see this bike turn up as a production model looking like it does now. So moving on a bit, we're not quite sure just what direction this new bike's taking us in, as it would appear to be heading down a different path to the usual bikes RE produce, perhaps even trying to ease its way into the 21st century a bit more convincingly. And in the words of Enfields themselves, we're a company in transition, so long a representation of analogue age, and now developing new products that keep the same pure soul, yet are fully integrated into the digital present, and also pushing into a whole new era of what a Royal Enfield of the future could look like. Now that may all sound like a lot of jargon to some, but what I'm personally finding it difficult to get away from is the Shotgun 650 concept recently unveiled for the first time at EICMA takes on this new mantra very well, and offers up some very new, very original and entirely unique features. The problem is, I'm not sure whether I really want that at the sacrifice of the bike's original DNA. So what do you think? Should Enfield tone this bike down a bit and get rid of the extra electronics? Or would you love to see it hit the showroom floors looking exactly like the concept? Anyway, we'd love to hear your take on this new bike, so drop us a comment in the usual place. As always, thumbs up if you enjoyed, sub if you want. Thanks for watching. My name's Bobby Max, I'm out of here.